So, good morning. Today we're studying Monday's lesson entitled Conditional Promises, all to do with biblical principles of finance. And so, there were so many promises given to God's people, Israel, in Deuteronomy 28. And we're going to read the first 6 verses of that chapter, because these promises are not just for Israel. And you're going to see what the condition is as we read. It's very clear. And it shall come to pass if, so these are the conditions now, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shalt thou be in the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. So these, we can see clearly, this is dependent on us paying attention to God's commands, his invitations, his instructions to us, and doing it. And then remember, we've studied other times the motive, not just, I need a blessing. I want God to bless me, so I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to do this. Now you have to bless me. No, this is out of a heart of love that is generous, because God is generous to usward, right? And so this spirit of generosity and self-denial, it's counter our human operating system that we're born with. This comes from the Spirit of God. This is the enmity that God puts between us and the enemy. And if we want that enmity to grow and that love for Jesus to grow, then we need to give him our pocketbooks. And the first step in doing this is difficult, because we trust ourselves and we're self-deceived, but God is faithful. And if you take the first step, you'll be able to see his faithfulness. And that's the most difficult part, because he proves himself faithful when we trust him. And our self-denying offerings will be used to supply workers, to give the last message of mercy to the fallen world. So these messages, these promises in Deuteronomy 28, they were given to the Hebrew nation. But as Christians, our commission is given so that we can fill the whole world with the knowledge of our God. And so our liberality is even more important today than it was in the days of Israel. And so now our lesson takes us to Malachi 3, 11 and 12. And there's some more promises here. And it says, what will God do for us if we trust him and obey him? I'll rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruit of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit. And so God is promising that when we plant, when we invest, he is going to bless. And all nations shall call you blessed, for you shall be the delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. Blessings come in different ways, and we know the greatest blessing is if we can reach a soul for Jesus Christ, to know the Father's love, to come to him, to seek that restoration, healing, repentance, and gift of salvation. So let us not measure the blessings in our human earthly ways, but God blesses in so many ways that we don't understand, and you will only understand once we commit ourselves fully to him. So all may feel that they can act a part in carrying forth the precious work of salvation. Every man, woman, and youth may become a treasurer for the Lord. I mean, if we are a accountant for a big firm, a big corporation, and we have an important position in their accounting, managing their finances and things, that's quite a job, and it pays very well. but every one of us can be treasurers for the Lord, for the gospel to commission the work of salvation to go forward, and that is a much greater honor. So I pray that we will consider God's invitation to us, and that we'll be able to share how God has been faithful with one another and be an encouragement to those who have not taken that step. And God bless you today.